standing by your bedside, never sleeping like an angel, and I love you like a father loves his child. And I always want to be here, and I never want to leave you, but I know I can always stay alive. But no matter where you go in this wonderful world, I shall always be with you. So just follow your road, find a beautiful soul, and don't be afraid to share your heart. I'm standing by your bedside, and I can hear you breathing, and I love you like a father loves his child. If there's one thing I can give you, it's when you leave tomorrow, I'm always gonna send you a smile. But no matter where you go in this wonderful world, I shall always be with you, dear. So just follow your road, find a beautiful soul, and don't be afraid to share your heart. When you stand by a bedside next to a sleeping angel, you'll know how much your father loves his child. And you'll always want to be there, and you'll never want to leave, and you'll know you can always stay a while. But no matter where you go in this wonderful world, I shall always be with you, dear. So just follow your road, find a beautiful soul, and don't be afraid to share your heart. And no matter where you go in this wonderful world, I shall always be with you, dear. So just follow your road, find a beautiful soul, and don't be afraid to share your heart. Share your heart. Share your heart. Share your
It's a beautiful piece of music called Sleeping Like an Angel. Good morning. On behalf of Dawn and Nigel, Damien and Martin, and indeed all of Lachlan's family, welcome and sincerely thank you for joining them on this most special day. We gather to mourn the passing, to show our love and respect, and really to celebrate the life of Lachlan Foote. Gosh, what a struggle we are all experiencing today. And indeed, it's been a struggle for the last couple of weeks. It's difficult to find the words to describe how we are all feeling, and almost impossible to fathom the grief that is being felt. There is shock, there is sadness, there's disbelief, there's even anger. So many troubled emotions that are all naturally part of grief and loss. But today, we gather here to show our love for Lachlan and to show our love for each other. I'm looking for things that are going to help us all, and the young fellow over to my right's got a great shirt on. There are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. So many beautiful reasons to be thankful. The grief today is shared amongst so many people, and our love is also shared to support those whom Lachlan was so special to. We're here to celebrate a rich and a vibrant life that's been filled with such warmth, family and friends, and give thanks that our lives have been touched by love. Lachlan's going to be carried in to a lovely piece of music. Thanks. Can I invite you to be upstanding? For those of you who can be seated, please do so. Thank you. Beautiful day. We're now going to take this opportunity to have some very special people in Lachlan's life, and indeed his family's life, to tell us about Lachlan. And firstly, Barbara Fitzgerald, who's the principal here at Korowal, and a good friend of Lachlan's.
As a hush has descended over the mountains, for the last 2 weeks, we've noticed smaller things. We've paused to cherish our loved ones. It doesn't seem fair nor reasonable that the life of one so cherished and good as Lachlan has ended. And as our thoughts pass back and forth, we grapple to register this unfathomable loss, while simultaneously recalling the myriad of experiences that we've had together. And so we're here to celebrate Lachlan's life and the fact that we knew and loved him and felt that this was reciprocated. That gift has not expunged. It is real. We are better for having known him. Lachlan came to Korowal for high school, joyful and ready for change. Always optimistic in temperament, Lachlan smiled and laughed generously and sought to see the positive in every situation. Over his high school years, he expanded his interests and confidence, and it was his music that provided greater connection and shared passion with his classmates. The gentlest of souls, he really cared about humanity, in the way in which he went about daily business. He was not out to save the world, but in possessing a lovely innocence and purity, Lachlan was sensitive to those around him, thoughtful, ethical, and honest. When younger, and not always tackling the nuances of jokes, his bright-eyed enthusiasm just added to his appeal. His smile was enticing. Andrew Island, so I called on several teachers to send me things they would love to say today, and it's integrated into this. Andrew Island, Lachlan's art teacher, commented, "Being without guile, cynicism could find no place to take hold in his thoroughly optimistic disposition. Lachlan never displayed a curled lip or sneer, all too often the rightful badge of adolescence. Instead, he met his colleagues with radiance and felicitousness, and was always open to seeing matters from another person's viewpoint." While at Korowal, Lachie worked hard to better his abilities, yet it never appeared to be through stress, rather with joy and with ease. If he was interested in the subject, he excelled. Literally a golden-haired gentleman, Lachlan was rational, virtuous, gifted in music, and fleet of foot. He was a talented tennis player, and that was a skill which he willingly shared by assisting students in sport. He trusted everybody, and he trusted the world. He was an undeniable manifestation of Nigel and Dawn's values, embracing life with openness and caring. In music classes, in music performances, he was always happy to be the guitar accompanist as much as the soloist, content to share the spotlight and jam alongside his mates. As Kim Poole expressed, remembering back to the years spent with Lachlan in music classes at Korowal, I am simultaneously overwhelmed by tears and by gratitude for what Lachlan brought to the experience. His presence, nature, spirit, simple, uncomplicated, open-hearted, generous, giving, caring, considerate. The music we made and shared, his enthusiasm and desire to participate and contribute with his classmates and friends. A beautiful soul. Within his class, and there are so many of his classmates here from many years at Korowal, Lachlan was a wonderful link. His peers and friends who shared his life are exceptional people and who all played their part in forming the man that Lachlan became, understanding and accepting him in the gentlest way. A notable memory for many teachers, students and parents alike are the images of Lachlan arriving at school with a tin of freshly baked biscuits. Biscuits that Mum had baked to say thank you, to feed the cast at rehearsals, or just because. Lachlan displayed no embarrassment at that. And for obvious reason, it gave him kudos. Dawn's biscuits are legendary. She's baked them for today. Right on cue, people would appear in his pathway, eagerly awaiting the pop of the tin. He fed the body and the spirit. What a gift he was to us. So we celebrate that Lachlan was able to shine his golden and loving light for all of those around him. And it is our abiding challenge to carry some part of his radiance forward into the world without his immediate presence. On behalf of the teachers, the parents, the community at Korowal, our deepest sympathies go to Dawn, Nigel, Martin, Damien and their families, as do our thanks for sharing such a wonderful young gentleman with us. If you believe there is more than this earthly life, this following poem may assist you at this time. It was written by a chaplain in World War I. A ship sails, and I stand watching till she fades on the horizon, and someone at my side says, "She is gone." Gone where? Gone from my sight, that is all. She is just as large as when I saw her. The diminished size and total loss of sight is in me, it's not in her. And just at that moment when someone at my side says she is gone, there are others who are watching her coming, and other voices take up a glad shout. There she comes. And that is dying. We will shine your light, Lachlan. Bye-bye for the present. Dawn has also asked me to read an email. Thank you. Yeah, that one. That's good. A message that she received from Scott, who's a local gentleman in Blackheath. I am lying here under the stars in Mexico thinking of you. This actually expresses so much of what many of us can't put in words, which is why Dawn asked me to read it. I wish we as a community could come together and carve up the immense pain and spread it amongst us all to make it easier for you and yours to bear. I wish we could rip open the heavens and snatch Lachlan back. I wish we could bend time and space and have one more chance to keep him here. I wish that the hearts of a mother, father and brothers didn't have to be beaten and torn like this. I wish that we could all have more insight into the leap that is death. It's huge. Even entire galaxies die. Why? Most of all, I wish for you to know your town, loves you dearly, thinks of you often, and are grateful you and yours are one of us. May peace of mind and heart be yours for the taking, and that your healing process is powerful and true. Scott.
Thank you so much, Barbara. I'd now like to invite Ben Allen, Lachlan's team member of Senior Group. Thank you.
I'd just like to say a few words on behalf of everyone in Scenic World who had the pleasure of working. There are so many of Lachie's workmates here today, friends from Scenic World among us, which shows how valued and admired he was among our tight-knit community. As a former friend of Lachie's, I'm honoured to be able to share with you how it touched the lives of so many in such a short time. Lachie started at Scenic World in September 2011, at just 15 years old. In the early days, he spent most of his time working out in the car park as a casual over the school holidays. But after a few seasons, he was kept on as a regular rides team member, where he quickly became part of the team and part of the Scenic World family. Over the 5 years Lachie was at Scenic World, he became a massive part of the rides team, always willing to do everything he could to help customers and keep staff spirits up with his infectious smile. While Lachie finished up at Scenic World almost a year ago, he never left the Scenic World family and was well known and well respected by everyone, young and old, for his friendly nature, his generous and vibrant personality. His humour and his gentle nature was loved by everyone, right until the end, and his loss has been felt by us all. He was the friendliest guy I ever met. I asked some of Lachie's friends from work, many who've known him a lot longer than myself, to share one word that described him best. Here are just a few. Happy, friendly, musical, outgoing, amazing, genuine, generous, goofy. Generous. Generous is in there twice. It kept coming up. Everyone said how he bought drinks, and I remember being at one party and Lachie buying everyone pizza, and he wouldn't accept any money for it. I'd also like to share a few personal memories of my time with Lachie, which I'll take with me wherever I go. One of my first memories was him training me to operate the train. As you can imagine, the training was very relaxed. This is where I first experienced Lachie's kind, friendly, life-loving nature. My fondest memories of Lachie are after I'd worked with him for a while and became his team leader. The first one that springs to mind is when he came to me to say he didn't want to work as much because he thought there were other staff that needed the shifts to earn more money. You'd be forgiven for thinking Lachie was coming up with an excuse to get out of work. But he followed it up by saying he'd cover shifts for people who needed it. He'd do whatever he could to help. And that was it. He just wanted to help. He helped wherever he could. Another time, I remember Lachie going to the tea room to grab his water bottle. 15 minutes passed without any sign of him. So I went to track him down and found him tuning a guitar. This guitar. Someone had been trying to play it, and it wasn't doing what it should. So Lachie said he would tune it, just trying to help. He said it would only take a few more minutes and he would be back. Of course, I said, no worries, Lachie, carry on. An hour and a half later, and he appeared on the platform. He explained how he had started restringing the guitar, and he would have to make a few more tweaks on his afternoon tea break. I reluctantly sent Lachie straight back to the tea room so he could get the water bottle that he went to get some 2 hours earlier. Again, it was Lachie just wanting to help out. All of us at Scenic World are incredibly lucky and incredibly grateful to have been touched by Lachie's generosity and kindness. The memories we have are gold, and they'll stay with us for a lifetime. But for now, our thoughts and hearts go out to Lachie's family as we try to remain strong through this difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. And now I'd like to invite Lulu to share her thoughts.
Before I read this, I'd just like to say that even though I use words like my and I think what I'm about to say is different. Dearest companion, you have taught and shaped me in ways that I'm only beginning to understand. For as long as I've known you, you've been capable of holding and giving a pure and unconditional love, which I'm sure it takes a lifetime for some people to feel, let alone to extend to others. I will be referencing the wisdom of your loving and joyous nature for the rest of my life. You will always be present at any Korowal reunion, all of my birthdays and special occasions, in every Irish ballad, space photo, or moment of comedy I encounter. You are a part of every day in the sunrise and sunsets, in the eyes and actions of happy animals, especially Labradors. The sublime peace and innocence of nature is fitting to your soul, and its frightful and gutting unpredictability is fitting to your loss. We were all so incredibly fortunate to have you as our friend. You are loved and cherished.
Thank you, Lulu. As you can imagine, there's been a great deal of planning going into today to work out all the things that were necessary to say and all the things that we'd like to say. And it occurred to Nigel and Dawn that there wasn't too much of what they wanted to say coming through, with people giving eulogies, because Lachlan had such a life outside of just their close family. So in order to voice some of the thoughts from Nigel and Dawn and Damien and Martin, they've invited Pat Drummond to share some thoughts. Thanks, Patrick.
All of us come here today to celebrate and remember Lachlan's life and spirit. But we also come here to share the grief that we feel following his death. We share both of these experiences because we are part of a community of love and mutual concern, a community. It's a community that the Foote family and those of us who have been privileged to have shared our lives with them have nurtured and augmented over the years. It has been a wonderful experience of creativity, love and support. I've seen and heard so many beautiful statements like the ones that Barbara read. And there are a couple that seem to be quite relevant that I want to share with you. Firstly, one from Nigel, who said that in the past 2 weeks, his family had been set upon the roughest of waters, but had been surrounded by a sea of love. All of us who are here today are part of that sea of love. The second one was that beautiful one that Barbara read from Scott Martin, who couldn't be here with us because he's in Mexico this morning. But he said that we needed, as Barbara said, to take the pain that Nigel and Dawn, Damien and Martin are feeling and fracture it into many parts. Each of us bearing our share so that we may lighten the load that they carry. And this is so important in this context because it underlines what I began to say about the community we have all formed. And it's also the heart of the perspective that I want to share with you about Lachlan and his part in our community. I know we all think about him as an amazing spirit, the creative individual he was, the amazing guitar player. But there's another side of Lachlan that does go beyond that, and so many have been referring to it. We should also reflect today upon the wonderful supportive role that he's always played within his family and within his community. As Nigel stated, Lachlan had a happy, enduring disposition and was always very in tune with other people's feelings. That beautiful quote from Kim Poole, describing him and his work in the school. She noted in music projects that they shared, Lachlan's enthusiasm and desire to participate and contribute to his classmates' and friends' experience. That's what made him such a beautiful soul. And the supportive nature that he gave to everyone around him is one of the things that made him just such a wonderful spirit. He was a performer, yeah, a talented one. But that's the thing. It was never all about him. A lot of us performers sometimes slip into that mindset. Believe me, I know. So are musical terms that he loved so much. Lachlan never saw himself as the reed on an oboe, a solo voice following its own path without regard to others. Lachlan was rather a string, surrounded by others on the beautiful harp that was his family and his community. His music, his dreams and his life were woven in harmony around the dreams and lives of others. And he was always happy to play the supporting role in those dreams. This perspective was part of his nature, but it was also part of his nature because it was a part of the culture he was raised in. The Foote family have always been generous and supportive of the communities that they've been part of. And for them, it's always been about outreach and bonding with others. I met Don and Nigel at a folk night, one of those many community events, when suddenly after years of solo performances, I suddenly found that I was suddenly part of a folk trio called Korowal, a group that went on to include my own late brother Ron, whom they took into their home at one stage when he hit harder times in his life. Bonding, supporting, outreach. And that bonding occurred. The traditions of our family began to bond with one another. Birthday parties suddenly had the same rituals, whether in our family or their family or whatever. Dawn created the alfoil throne on which the birthday child was seated, and the smarty hearts surrounded them. And being that young celebrity on that throne is a fond childhood memory to all of us in both families. So it's no wonder that the next generation of our families began to bond. First the older ones, as Matt, Pete and Damien formed Dirt Cheap, their first band, and went on to record together, and then the younger children, Martin, Lachlan, and our youngest daughter Josie, also became close. They played together all the time, and that supportive strand of Lachlan's character was so often shining out there in the games they played. They loved the movie The Lion King. It featured two central characters. Simba and Nala were the stars. And guess what? Stars can't be stars without the supporting actors. So whenever they played together, Martin and Josie decided that they were going to be the stars. And they told Lachlan that he was going to play the supporting characters. Now, most children would have stamped their foot and said, no, if it's not all about me, if I'm not going to be the centre of attention, that's it. he was always there to play the supporting role in other people's dreams. He always took the parts that brought their dreams to life, and in the end, the supporting actor is often the one that makes the stars shine. Time rolls by for all of us, and eventually the credits do roll, mate. Today we are filled with the sad reality that one of the strings in our communal heart is broken. Yes, it is missing, but it still shimmers in every note of the music that we share in our community. And while ever we go on weaving the harmonies around the dreams and memories that he gave to us, that music will live on. Lachlan's passing is a great loss, but his life was not. It was a great gift, a gift that will live on in all of us, while ever we strive to carry on his ethic of supportive consideration and generosity for others. Mate, you've left us far too early. But we do not judge the individual strings of the harp by how long or short they were. We judge them only by how beautifully they wove their vibrancy around the others with whom they shared the melody of their life. And at that level, Lachlan Foote fulfilled and achieved in that very short time every hope and dream that any of us may ever have. Love you guys. Thank you for sharing your lives and Lachlan with us.
Thanks, Pat. Home by Dark. Great tune. Written by one Nigel Foote. Used to play you to sleep to difficult children that might not have been wanting to go to sleep at the time, but eventually succumbed to sleep at that time. Will you play that tune for us today? No. It's not good. Thanks, Mark. There are so many emails and posts that have been sent to the family and put on Facebook in the last 2 weeks. I'd like to share 2 or 3 of them with you. From Steve Garfield. In the decades of my teaching, perhaps a dozen students stand out as extra special, and Lachlan is one of them. His boundless enthusiasm in the classroom was very endearing, as were his tangential questions in every lesson that stemmed from a deeply inquisitive mind, unconstrained by fear or temporal concerns. His yes, but what if, would invariably stimulate great debate about possibilities beyond the curriculum and even beyond known science. A truly inquiring mind that should have fed us all for decades to come. His demeanour at school reflected so many of the family that he was proud of. His musicality is obvious, but he was also fond of mentioning his grandmother's work as part of this inspiration. Of course, his old-fashioned boyish enthusiasm and charm was most closely reflective of your values as parents. He genuinely loved learning, but was free from any reluctance to show that to the world. His lack of embarrassment or cynicism about learning was delicious to his teacher, and is my enduring memory of him in my classroom. One anecdote comes to mind. We were discussing star cycles in astrophysics and the issues that we are all made from stardust came up. This inspired Lachlan in particular, and ages after we'd begun to talk of some detail, he piped up, "What do you mean then? That we are actually built from atoms or former stars?" "Oh wow," was his response. I'd like to think that Lachlan will return to stardust so that he might shine on the world for a very long time. He certainly illuminated my world and all of us who shared his grace. That was from Steve. From Al Ward. Go now and run through the clockwork of the stars. The plumes of colour, the solar wind, the ice chimes from Ganymede. From your newly unfettered mind cast nets as wide as galaxies and trawl for every thought that was ever loosed from every mind that ever thought. Where are the compass points in the vertigo of space? East, west, north, south, guide no one in this place. The 5th cardinal point will lead you now. It is the path that takes you to and from the soul. Along its axis you gather up your heart and find light and life and love. You lamp the way for those of you, for those whom you treasure, who will follow you on when they have played their measure. From Sam Burrow. Lachlan, my guy. I really can't think of a bad thing about you. From the end of school to this day, and probably for the rest of my days, I've aspired to be as selfless and loving as you. You never passed up a chance to put yourself out to help someone else. Thanks for confiding in me over the years when you needed advice and help with stuff. It was good to be able to help someone who always helped others. Thanks for being so consistently happy, literally all the time. Even when you were feeling down, You always laughed and smiled. You really were one kind of a mate. You'll be sorely, sorely missed, you lanky blonde bugger. Rest easy, mate. Love you. And I have a poem from Paul Butler. I don't think I can find words to describe Lachlan. It's like trying to describe beauty. It fills you with joy, with a feeling that, for a fleeting moment, you are part of something wonderful. Or laughter. How you can capture the teasing looks, the playful games, the smile that awakened anticipation, or the fun that was set to flow. Or gentle sensitivity that smoothed the path for all, then sprang in an instant to the effervescent sparkle of life. There are no words I can find except love and goodbye. The music we've heard today has been in the family. We're going to play another song now called Shine Like Silver, which is something that Nigel wrote for his two sons. And during that time, when we have other pieces to play after that, if any of you would like to take a moment to come forward, place a flower with Lachlan, or just spend a moment, we're going to take 10 or 15 minutes to do that. Thanks, Nat.
May you be gentle, may you be kind, little one. May you be strong to face the wind. May you see sunshine even on a cloudy day. But most of all, may I welcome you this way. I saw your mother bravely bring you to the wood, and through her pain a flash of joy. The waiting over, like a fern you just unfold, and there you were, a baby boy. Come and run with me now through the flowers in the fields. Sit and watch the winding river flow. You and I are rivers flowing onward to the sea. May you shine like silver as you go. A year has gone now since the birthing round, and you reach for me to hold you high. I'm showing you all the good things I can find in showing me the wisdom in your eyes. Come and run with me now through the flowers in the fields. Sit and watch the winding river flow. You and I are rivers flowing onward to the sea. May you shine like silver as you go. How many times have you traveled this long road? Have you been dancing amongst the stars? Your spirit shines for me like a beacon in my heart. Take my hand, won't you lead me from the dark? Come and run with me now through the flowers in the field. Sit and watch the winding river flow. You and I are rivers flowing onward to
Following this gathering, everyone is most warmly invited up into the school area where there are refreshments, a drink, chance to share a few stories and memories. Most importantly, that opportunity to continue to support each other at this time. After you've all had a drink and some refreshments, there's even going to be a bit of a concert in the school hall. Nigel described it as Full Moon Folk meets Korowal. But you got to know what Full Moon Folk was. It was a rather ragtag group of performers. Drummond's going to do a bit. He's always the star, aren't you, Patrick? No, you should. We've only got one star today. We've only got one lot of stardust today. Before Lachlan is taken and carried back to the hearse, we're going to take a moment for all of us to reflect. I'd also like to tell you that Lachlan will be laid to rest at Macquarie Park in Sydney on Wednesday, and there'll be family and a few friends there. And flowers that have been put forward today will be taken. But as I said before, Lachlan leaves here today, we're going to have a moment of meditation. Now, as many of you realise, it was Lachlan's birthday last week or so, on the 2nd. And despite the sadness of him having passed away the day before, family and friends were gathered together and they had this same kind of moment of meditation. It's a chance for you to think and reflect. I'd like to ask you all to be upstanding. And take the hand of someone near you. In fact, if you can try and link to everyone. So linking together as best we can. We take this chance to meditate for Lachlan. We take the chance to feel the collective love and warmth that we've all come here today to show. In this time of stillness, we get to think of what Lachlan has meant to us and to sense that which he has left with all of us. And as hand touches hand, and indeed as heart touches heart, we are united in our grief. And together we are strengthened by our love. Friends, enjoy this beautiful day. Think of so many of those beautiful reasons to be happy. And think of so many of those reasons to be thankful for Lachlan. If I can have the pallbearers come forward. Our final piece of music is played by Dawn, and it's The Trees They Do Grow High.
The trees they grow high, and the leaves they do grow green. Many is the time my true love has seen. Many a night I've watched him all alone. He is young, but he's steady growing. Father, dear Father, you've done me great wrong. You have married me to a boy who is too young. I am twice 12, and he is but 14. He is young, but he's steady growing. Daughter, dear daughter, I've done you no wrong. I have married you to a great Lord's son. You make a lot for you to wait upon. He is young, but he's steady growing. Father, dear Father, if you see fit, we'll send him to college for 1 year yet. Outside blue ribbons all around his head, to let the men say that he is married. One day I was looking on my father's castle wall. I spied all the boys out there with the ball. My own true love was the flower of them all. He is young, but he's steady growing. At the age of 14, he was a married man. At the age of 15, the father of his son. At the age of 16, his grave it was green. For death had put an end to his growing.
Thank you, friends. Enjoy the rest of the beautiful day. Thank you.